Hey guys, it's Jamie, and today I'm going to be talking about the path I chose to getting a penis. Probably one of the weirdest sentences I've ever said in my life. So I had first stage lower surgery back in January this year, so that's January 2018, and I had Metoidioplasty. If you want to know more about like the specific type of procedure I got within Metoidioplasty and like my healing and all that kind of stuff, I did a lot of vlogging and a lot of talking about it. Oh, I talked about my penis so much. I still do. I will leave the links to my lower surgery playlist in the description box below if you want to go check that out, because I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about my own surgery in this video, just kind of my choices leading up to that surgery. So when it comes to getting lower surgery for trans guys or trans people who are assigned female at birth, there are two main options: Metoidioplasty and Phalloplasty. As I mentioned, I went for Metoidioplasty. Took me ages to learn how to say it properly. I went to my first appointment and they were like, which type are you looking to go for? And I was like, and he was just like, Metoidioplasty. And I was like, that's the one. Yeah. From now on, I'll just be calling Metoidioplasty Meta and Phalloplasty Phallo, just because it's shorter, basically. I'm not going to go into like the most ginormous amount of detail about the exact differences between each type of surgery. But the short story is that Phalloplasty creates an average sized penis, or around an average sized penis, using a skin graft from somewhere else on the body. So the most typical one, certainly for the UK, is the forearm, which would be of the non-dominant arm, and there is also thigh or abdomen. Metoidioplasty works with what you've already got, so the growth caused by testosterone, and creates what looks like a micro penis, a little mini penis. Both have the options to create a scrotum from the outer labia. Also with both, you can opt to have urethral lengthening, where a graft is taken from somewhere. For Metoidioplasty, it's the inside of the cheek, and this lengthens the urethra so you can stand up to pee. So the idea is that both, depending on what you opt to go for, can create a penis and balls in a little scrotum. But with Phalloplasty, you would end up with a closer or average sized penis because it's created from a skin graft, and your original genitalia is either buried within that or sits behind. And then with Metoidioplasty, it works with your original genitalia that has had growth from testosterone, creating still the appearance of a penis, but just a small one. And size for each will vary depending on the person. Particularly with Metoidioplasty, it will come down to the growth you've had on testosterone. So I've always had lower surgery. I've always had lower surgery. I've always had lower dysphoria and felt very uncomfortable with that part of my body, but it was never quite as intense as the dysphoria I felt around my chest and around things like my voice and my kind of general appearance and physique. Shush, Mr. Phone. Shush. So definitely I had this like massive, like desperate need to start on testosterone and then to get top surgery, and they were just things that I could not wait for. But with lower surgery, it was something that like I knew I would probably want at some point in the future. But after I had my top surgery, put me off getting surgery for a very long time. At one point I thought it put me off for life. But basically after I started testosterone and I'd had top surgery, I was content enough with my body that I was very happy to just forget about the physical side of transitioning for a while and just chill and like get on with stuff and not worry or think about surgery. But then it was about 3 years after my top surgery. So I had top surgery in August 2012. So by about mid 2015, I was starting to think that I would like to pursue lower surgery, and I knew that the waiting time was going to be quite long. So in October 2015, I went to my GP and asked to be referred to Charing Cross to pursue lower surgery. And this was before like I'd made my absolute final decision on exactly what I wanted from it and everything. I just knew it was going to be a while, and I knew that I wanted some form of lower surgery, just the combination I was unsure on. Saying that, I was always a lot more on the side of getting Meta rather than Phallo, and I had several main reasons for this. The top one was the scarring. So in Metoidioplasty, there is significantly less scarring. You wouldn't even tell that I have scars from Meta unless you look really, really closely. You just can't really tell at all. But with Phalloplasty, you're left with several different scars in several different places, the biggest one being from the graft site. And personally, because I knew the likely graft site would be the forearm, because I've heard it gives like the best results in terms of sensation and it's just the most typical one to go for, I knew that I would feel really uncomfortable with having a large scar on my arm. I would also potentially lose part of my tattoo and my birthmark, which I'm fairly attached to. Those seem like trivial things, but just the scarring, which also sounds kind of odd because I do have 2 larger scars on my chest from top surgery, but most of the time they're hidden. I think it was just the idea of having a large scar, and particularly somewhere that was visible a lot of the time and all the time in summer and times like that, that just was something something I knew I would be uncomfortable with. The second thing that was a positive for Meta over Phallo for me were the surgery stages and the recovery time. The number of stages are very similar, but particularly for the first stage with phalloplasty, the recovery is very intense, or from what I've seen it's very intense, and I have heard from other people that it does seem to be a lot more intense recovering from phalloplasty than metoidioplasty. That went wrong. Metoidioplasty. And I've also been told that there's higher risk of complications with phalloplasty. Number 3 was aesthetics, like just generally, just everything you can think of about the appearance of both surgery results. Phalloplasty will appear closer in appearance to an average cis penis, whereas metoidioplasty will be a lot smaller, but is similar in appearance to a micro penis. Personally, and I don't even really think I can describe why, I just prefer the results from Meta over Phallo, and because size wasn't an issue for me, the size of my bulge wasn't something that I was interested in. As long as there's something there, then that's fine with me. Then it kind of got rid of, in my mind, the main reason why I would go for Phallo, which is the whole size thing. And because I just didn't care, it just doesn't bother me, the size, Meta was like the obvious option. I'm not saying I don't like Phallo results. I think Phallo results can look amazing, but just for me, Meta was the better choice in terms of appearance and everything. And number 4 is function. So when I talk about function, I mean things like standing to pee and erections. But with standing to pee, because of the size created from Meta, I personally would have always felt uncomfortable peeing in public, like at a urinal or something, and at home it never really bothers me. The only thing that was in the back of my head in terms of whether I should get urethral lengthening with Meta or not is like, I don't know, if I'm camping or something, but I was like, I don't like camping, so it's fine. But just for me, the benefit of getting urethral lengthening didn't outweigh like the extra surgery stage and everything like that. For Phallo, urethral lengthening would have definitely been something I'd have gone for. But again, because I wasn't fussed about the size and I wasn't fussed about urethral lengthening, that side of functioning of having a penis didn't interest me, didn't bother me, so that kind of swayed me towards Meta as well. So the second aspect of function is erections, and I'm not talking in terms of sex, I'm just saying in terms of like how they are achieved and how I would feel about that. With Meta, the penis you achieve is very comparable in function to a cis penis, apart from peeing unless you get urethral lengthening and then the whole ejaculating thing, but natural erections are possible. With phalloplasty, because the tissues are different in the penis, erections are most commonly achieved through a pump device. There are some other things where a rod is permanently placed in the penis, and that can mean that you can move it into an erect position and things like that, but the most common one is the use of a pump, and that's where a device is placed in the scrotum instead of one of the testicular implants, and this can be used to inflate a device inside the penis to make it erect. And the idea of a pump system to achieve that didn't appeal to me personally. And then there are like a bunch of smaller different things, one of which being like chance of sensation and the fact that I kind of felt already attached to what I had going on. I felt dysphoric about how it appeared, but then I knew that if it appeared more like what you typically expect with a penis, even if it was really small, then I would be very happy with it. And I just didn't want to hide what I had there already. So yeah, basically I mostly went for metoidioplasty because I don't mind the size of my penis and I knew that I would mind having larger scars. Then I just generally preferred the appearance and the results from metoidioplasty, and standing to pee wasn't something that bothers me, even though you can achieve it through Meta. My advice for anybody looking to get bottom surgery but who isn't sure which one to go for, I'd say make a pros and cons list, and important things to think about are size, function, and appearance. And you need to look at results, try TransBucket for results, and just think about what it is that you want to achieve from lower surgery. If size is really important, then maybe Phallo's better. If it's just making the most of what you've got and having something that generally appears like a penis, even if it's on the smaller side, then maybe Meta is slightly better for you. Meta is better. Not for everybody though. You just need to do what's best for you. There is no type of lower surgery that is better than another. It's all about individual preference and what would make each person more comfortable with themselves. I still think phalloplasty is a great option for the people that want that type of result. It just wasn't for me. I think Meta gives really good results in a different kind of way and makes the most of what you've got going on. I'm incredibly happy with my decision with lower surgery and everything I've gone for so far. I'm very happy with the results and the appearance and just all that kind of stuff. It's gone really great for me. Yeah, I just wanted to make this video to talk about the kind of differences and some pros and cons from each from a personal perspective, but you make up your own decision. There is no wrong decision. Do what's right for you. Pros and cons lists are amazing. I can't point that out enough. I hope you guys have enjoyed hearing about this and it can help some of you out there with making your decision or just knowing what to do. And yeah, as always guys, thank you so much for watching. Much love, bye!